John Rogers and David Varner. I knew that, but you know, just gotta.
Still early.
It is still early. I haven't had any coffee yet or anything, so. Part of the Stick Shift series. John Rogers been in Stick Shift probably longer than many of these people. He was SR for a long time, and I kind of just remembered that you were SR for a very long time, right? It wasn't KA.
It was a few years.
Yeah. And then you were also one of the guys that wasn't running the T56, which was interesting, which I always kind of felt that was a choice, I guess. What was the reason behind no T56?
So when I originally went to a good transmission with the SR, it was the G-Force, and I was cheap. I mean, I was poor, so I found an actual old NASCAR transmission, which is a G101A essentially.
Yeah.
And I got it for like $1,500, and it took literally all the abuse I could ever throw at it. So
yeah, we didn't have any problems then.
From there, I just kind of stuck with that G-Force trend.
Interesting. So for people that don't know, it's the Camo 240 solid axle deal. You guys build the solid axle kits at IDS. Import Drag Solutions, you build suspension, mostly shocks, but also all kinds of control arms and cool junk for imports. What is it? It's mostly 240s, but you're also in GTRs. You're in Supras,
S2000, Civic.
Gosh, I looked the other day, and it was like we have all the R32, 33s, all the 240s, the Supra FRS, S2000, 300ZX, G35s, 350Z, all that stuff.
MK3, Supra.
Yeah, it's
MK4
like it's
Supra.
evolved.
What about RX-7s?
RX-7.
We do RX-7 rear.
FD RX-7.
FD, yeah. We haven't. We get calls about the FC stuff. We haven't done that yet.
The FC stuff, I feel like people drag race a little more.
They do.
So
They do. They're here for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of them here.
So,
but maybe that car is also one that people drag race a lot more, but they tend to be more like drop it off at the chassis shop and it gets
cars,
cut in half.
Yeah.
You're
Not
definitely right there.
not like a home built deal. It's an interesting one. So where are you sitting right now? You're sitting number 6 qualifier.
Yep.
717 at 194. The little 2J, you know, when this all kind of was going on, I feel like the 2J had a better, I feel like it was in a really good spot, but now the horsepower numbers are getting real big.
Real spicy.
When you can match a good chassis with a lot of horsepower, I mean, you're going to go fast. I mean, that's all there is to it.
We're definitely finding ourselves the last couple of years out horsepowered and trying to figure out ways to get back up there and keep it reliable and consistent. It's a little bit of a struggle, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, we all three here have 2Js, so we can all speak on the out horsepower struggle a little bit is real. And yes, they can make the horsepower, but the amount of times they can do it start to deplete.
They can definitely make the horsepower. I don't know if that's really our biggest issue. It is kind of right now, just because I think every time we try to lean on it, we always show signs of all right, maybe this may have an issue. It's the fact that we don't have an option to replace it while we're here, so we have to really be conservative all the way until we absolutely need to. So
yeah, we may not have the horsepower, but we race way smarter than everybody else, and I think that's why we win races. That's why we won the reunion. That's why we were in the finals of the FL2K, because we didn't have the fastest car there, but we'll go the distance.
We absolutely never have the fastest car.
Yeah.
And you were in the finals at FL2K, but you never got to race the actual final, so it could have been you or
Atkins.
Yeah, it was Atkins. Atkins really put that car together. Like, he went, I think first round eliminations, he went like an 85. I think second round he went an 85 or 82. He was going to go 680s on us in the finals. So
he had a bracket tune-up in there.
Yeah, it was going to be a really struggle, I think. I don't know though, but anything happens. We raced him at the reunion, and he had a computer, some sort of an issue.
Yeah.
So
you never know. It's racing.
sometimes it's better to be
no
lucky
guarantees.
than good, I guess.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, you look at some of the other ones, like Grannis. He's pulling apart that car. Any chance that any huff of a interest, motor might be hurt. Let's take it apart. They seem like they're ready to pull that apart. And even you look at White Rice and Dewey and those cars, they're pretty gun-ho to pull that apart at any huff of worry, which it's interesting to see because kind of what it takes for the 2J stuff. White rice, they pull that thing apart if it smells wrong.
Yeah, they have 3 backups from what I understand. So
yeah, they have a little different combo than we do. We race all season on one motor. They have 3 in the trailer. So
right.
And didn't you have an auto in your car for like a week?
it was like 2 years. Yeah.
I feel like it was like you just didn't like it because
When the stick shift racing kind of took a turn and everybody started switching to the slippers, and honestly the car count kind of died off at the same time.
yeah.
There was only like seven or 8 hitters at the time, so I wanted to do something a little different, and so I was like, it was either go slipper and spend all that money and learn all that, or go auto and do something different, and that's what I did, and I don't regret it at all.
No, I think when we went auto with your car, I was running Ultra at the time, and then you ran Ultra, and so like when you run, I think that's like on a professional level running Ultra Street or X275. Like you learn so much about your program, so it was cool to kind of step back, do that stuff. But I'm glad he's back in the stick shift stuff. It's so much fun.
It made us leaps and bounds better racers.
Yeah.
And smarter racers, and then now we can take that knowledge and bring it into the stick shift, and it's helped us a tremendous amount.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that a little bit last night, as some of these stick shift guys would probably fare well with like 2 years of running the car auto, really learning the car, kind of learning racing a little bit, like, not that they don't know racing, but learning like the car and learning the chassis, learning the tune-ups on that specific car, and then add the immense variable that is a clutch that slips and does all kinds of weird things. What clutch is in your car?
Black Magic.
Black Magic. Do you deal with that for the most part, your tuning, or do you kind of talk with somebody back and forth more? Is it like
Kale at Black Magic kind of was like, here's where you start, good luck. And then we kind of just took it off from there, and he got us close. I mean, it's not like we were in left field, and the clutch has been fantastic. I mean, we make a change that we think will do it right, and it does it. I mean, it's very predictable.
That's the best part, I think, about being on the clutch that we're on, is it's very like, whatever change we put on it does the change. We're not really guessing at this point. Like if we know we need to bring the clutch in earlier, then it'll do that. So and I'm sure there's plenty of other clutches that will do the same thing, but this one seems to work the best for us. So
it's predictable and it's repeatable.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. The clutch I used to be on was not that. I mean, it was. I had to chase it every time we made a hit, and it was awful. But I love what we're on now.
It's crazy to see, like, on the qualifying sheet, people like Devin Schultz, 7-0, and he was at the top of the field for so long with that car, and it's insanely fast, but it's crazy how everybody finally caught up with him. What, like 5 years? He was just like untouchable in a H pattern.
100%.
Yeah.
Finally now.
We had fun running him back in the day. We would run, was it COTS? We ran that Bangers Classic
King of
COTS.
the Streets, yeah.
That was so much fun in Chicago and stuff like that. Like he's always been a top contender, especially out here. Like everybody was kind of watching his next move, so it's cool. It's cool to see him back out. He hasn't raced much this year. Really?
Well, he's like in Washington or something. He has to come like fully across the country. Oh, is he? I thought he was farther than that. Oh yeah, Illinois. Yeah, it's crazy. The competition has really leveled up a little bit. Even to be a 7-0 and not be number one qualifier, and to see cars that have been 730s,
Right.
Yeah.
still kind of in that.
They've really set the bar unattainable. I mean, Nick's trucks, it's a fucking rocket, and the thing about taking the record back is not even something that's even on our radar. It's just we just come out here and try to win the race, and
You don't think you got the horsepower to? What do you think? Perfect pass that car can put down.
I think
All
realistically we could probably go a 670 this weekend if we put it all together.
Yeah.
And we had it turned up all the way, and it was going to hold it, and all the stars aligned, and I think it'd probably go 670s.
Yeah.
How do you guys handle that track out there? Because I know some people, it's hit or miss for a lot of people. Some people say it's horrible. Some people are like, it's fine. We get right down.
Well, I honestly, I go up early and I watch each round and see, like, they'll prep, and then I'll watch the first 3 or 4 pairs go down, and I'll watch how the track kind of changes and see where the groove goes. But really, I don't know. I just go out there early. He's got people back at the car that help him kind of get him through the lanes and stuff like that. I usually stay on the starting line and just kind of pay attention to it. And I mean, I don't know. We've raced with a lot of, again, that's back to the radio racing when we went Ultra Street stuff. Like, we have a lot of people that's helped us kind of see what the track looks like and stuff like that. So, but we went out there Q1 and it's nothing like BMP. Like, it's not as radio prep. Obviously, we know that coming here, but I'm confident that Q1 was maybe the worst surface we'll see all weekend. So I'm pretty happy with what we're going to do Q2 and Q3. So
That would be nice if Q1 was the worst surface all
it
weekend.
just didn't feel good underneath my foot. So, you know what I mean?
Gave the twist test.
Yeah.
See how it feels. Yeah.
Cheeseburger has a calculated thumb. I don't have the calculated thumb yet.
I saw him doing that with his thumb.
Pay attention to that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart dude.
He's smart dude.
I saw him using his thumb, but what kind of changes you'll make a change in the lane to the car?
Oh, absolutely.
Not to the clutch, just to the tune-up or shocks.
Tune-up.
We can make small adjustments. We can't make really big adjustments, but
In the lanes.
we have to kind of know close to what we need to be at when we go up there.
Yeah.
Usually we err on the safer side.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm pretty worried about our Hispanic announcer here. Sorry, everyone, if you can't hear us over our announcer here, but I'm trying my best.
It's all right.
Race car track.
Yeah. This is why, you guys come down to Florida 45 times a year.
I know.
I promise the next time we come, we'll do a legitimate podcast.
He's like, hey, anybody want to do interviews at World Cup? And I hit him up, and I was like, man, I kind of feel bad because we've dodged him like 12 times. So.
It's not like we dodge them, we just get busy. And
I know. You guys come down and
last or at FL2K, we got ran off by a hurricane, so
yeah,
that kind of
we're the
ruined
only ones
things.
that said that.
You're right.
Don't worry.
We
But
bring the families down, and the wife would absolutely rather go to like a seafood restaurant than watch us do a podcast. So
that I completely understand, and I, always understand of that, and I get it. Even we just did the no time deal. I was a little sad you weren't there.
I know. I'll be there next.
Won that one, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. I love Troy's races. They're awesome. There's so much. They're so chill. They're cool.
Yeah.
I
mean,
like
it's a good one. You guys even up by you, what is it, Edgewater track?
Yeah.
That seems to have a lot of good stick shift racing, which is kind of weird to see. Like a smaller track actually have like a stick shift event.
It's such a good facility. And Rob, the guy that owns it's awesome. And I think he just has a lot of support. So if you look at who's in our area putting on events for him or helping out, like Bill just did the Plates and 28s event. Yep. Probably one of the best turnouts that class has ever, that event venue has ever had. So really cool to see. So I do want to build a car for that sick day and sick week stuff. That'd be fun. Me and the boy do it.
Just put a radiator in your 240. It just takes a radiator, right?
It has a radiator in it now, but I don't want to drive that thing.
Has a radiator in it.
It exists.
Yeah, it exists. I mean, it might only have a gallon or something, but it's there for sure.
That's like when they say you need an alternator and James is in the passenger seat type of deal. It's like it has to have one.
There's a lot of gray areas.
Yeah. I mean, it's all how you interpret the rules.
You 240 guys tend to be some of the worst on the interpretations, though.
No,
Man, not right now.
Not right now.
We're the most. We have an eighth chassis car, and all these people have 15, 16th chassis cars. So.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are racing something that doesn't have rules,
Right.
so there's nothing to even interpret to be right or wrong. You just show up with a full carbon underbelly, aftermarket firewall, cheatered up everything.
Double frame rail.
Yeah, double frame rail. But it's allowed, right? Technically?
Depends on
who
how
you
you
ask,
interpret
I
the
guess.
rules,
I
I
don't
guess, and it's just whatever at this point.
No,
so.
I mean here's the deal. Like if you have a good understanding of the rule and know what you can get away with, then absolutely, do your thing. I think that either we've misinterpreted what a 3/4 chassis really is, or what the rule set really looks like, or people are just kind of sliding through. So I don't even want to deal with that anymore. We'll just, now that we know.
Yeah.
So as long as it doesn't change when we go to do it, then
Yeah, no
everybody's
shit.
okay.
That's what I was going to say. It's like, okay, well, once you catch up, then...
Yeah.
But there's already all these cars built that would be classed out. And then what? Then who shows up next year?
Right.
If it's like you can't have double frame rail, you can't have, carbon tubs, you can't have an aftermarket firewall, then who shows up?
That's the slippery.
You need a. You can't have a funny car body.
I get it.
You can't have a one-piece body on your car.
I get it. It's hard to go backwards, but it's at the same time, it's like it would have been nice to know that we could do that, like, you know. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it's in the past. Who cares now? At this point, we're here. Everybody's made it through tech. It's what it is. So we'll just race and race.
Well, a lot of people are just like a little slow to adapt to the new rules. You know, like it takes time to get the car to where the rules now are, and you're trying to hit this moving target because. I mean, your car's been down for a while now, getting all stuff. Like, it's just part of it. It takes time to get to where you want to be. So, what you do now doesn't mean that what you do in it when it's done in a year or 8 months is gonna fit, because it's a quickly evolving thing. Even the no big blocks, that kind of came out of nowhere in this class. Like, somebody could have been putting together
I think that might have always been a rule, but no one really ever looked at it. But yeah, I mean, if someone came out with a twin turbo big block, it would just wreck the whole class.
Yeah,
those things are the cheat code.
Trans that can support it. Really,
at the end of the day, it's like, can you really make that work?
Yeah.
There's a point at which, even if you have 2,500 horsepower, can you keep everything alive?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and it's like this race is the best example. I mean, you got to make at least 8 laps.
Yeah.
And I mean, 25 horsepower, 8 laps to keep it alive. I mean, that's the struggle.
It's almost better to go just the really lightweight car with like a good motor, but not as huge power, because you're still going to break through the trans no matter what. The T56s, I mean, people are windowing them. Like
well, that's where the double frame rail chassis cars are going to take the advantage of. You take a really light car. Now with a bunch of horsepower, and then parts are going to live. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it makes it tough. It'll be cool to see the next couple years of stick shift evolution, because something big is coming. I feel where there's I don't know how many people I talked to that said they wanted to be the first stick in the 5s. It's a lot. There's quite a few of them.
It's a really tall order. When you look at if you like take the whole stick shift thing away from it, and you look at the incrementals that you have to do to go 5s, like you're gonna have to go 3s to the 8th. And so, I mean, yeah, like I think we're pretty far off. What has Coleman been?
If you look at the package that Coleman put together when he went,
that's moving.
That 49. If you look at the incremental package, like I just don't see where you're gonna pick up a crazy amount of numbers.
Yeah, I don't think it's completely impossible. I'm not saying that, but I just think that it'd be tough to compete and race an event like this at that kind of level. But
dropping a half a second off of a 650 car is insane. I mean, it'll take another 1,500 horsepower.
Yeah. I don't think any car as they sit right now are very close. I think maybe they have the car, but there's a lot more progressive changes that need to happen. But even like Joel Steele, a Coyote can do it.
Yep.
That turbo can do it. But there's a lot that needs to come together. Like Sean Madden, that turbo probably can do it. And the motor is billet LS block, probably can do it, but
I don't know.
It's a lot.
My opinion on it, I think that stick shift racing was always about the driver, and I think that we're slowly taking the driver away from it. People might not agree with that, but I think that that's what it is. And I think that if they want to keep this class kind of going, the spirit of it, they're going to have to figure out a way to kind of tighten everybody up a little bit. And we're way off the pack, so I don't want to slow everybody down. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea, but I think that they're going to have to do something to keep it to where not the average Joe can compete, but I think that there's more than 5 cars that can compete if they want this thing to keep going for years. I think that's just what it is. So
I would just hate for it to ruin the car count again, because it kind of happened, a few years back, and I just don't want that to happen again, to where you get a couple people that have built these out of control cars that are just unattainably hard to catch, and then everybody else just gives up, and it's
Well, I would say a similar thing happened recently in our street car class, where once you're talking a few cars going 200, you're talking 6-second cars, it becomes like for the street car guy, most 9 out of 10 street car guys aren't doing that, so they're gonna have to do something
I mean, LaSalle made it look. I mean, I'm sure you're talking about him, but you can't give that guy enough credit. Like,
Yeah.
he did what he was supposed to do, and that car is ridiculous. You can't knock him for it, but at the same time, everybody else watched it happen. They're like, oh well, I guess I'm gonna go home now.
And you can't rule those cars out because
Right.
they don't run big turbos.
Right.
They're not too crazy. They are true street cars.
Well, that's why Victor did Extreme 28s. Like, he's seen what was happening with the street car stuff. He's like, I want to invest time into Extreme 28s and make all those cars that don't really have a place to go to Extreme 28s. And he fixed it. Take that same thing with stick shift right now. Okay, so you do an outlaw stick shift race where it's kind of like whatever chassis, maybe stock firewall, stock location suspension, whatever, but unlimited power. Like, you may have 3 cars that compete in that. And then if you slow everybody down, I'd love to see a diaphragm class. Like, let's go back to regular clutches. And
I think that would be the street side of a stick shift class would be the diaphragm rule. I think would be cool.
That'd be sweet to do that.
Yeah, once you put a diaphragm in, and then because there's slipper valves, but you guys probably know they're not.
They're not an adjustable clutch.
Yeah, it's like a just kind of.
It keeps you from breaking everything in the driveline. Like, softens it probably a little bit, but I don't think it does. It's not even close to what these clutches do.
Yeah, it's like a Band-Aid. Who's the fastest? Somebody's been pretty fast on a diaphragm, though. There's records in that.
750s on the.
Well, I know. I'm pretty sure Devin's still on a diaphragm.
Yeah, maybe.
What a bad man.
Yeah, he's probably fast.
That's a bad man.
Those
right
all-wheel
there.
drives can't really do adjustables. There's just not enough room to fit to house that clutch. But
That's true. Yeah, those tiny little front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive deals.
right.
I need to find that rotary guy and really find out what he's got going
That was
on.
wild last night. He went #1, like 683 or something like that.
Yeah, those guys kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was cool.
1.3 liter.
It was wild to see.
Of course he's from Orlando.
Right.
Like, where else would you be from if you have
You're
a...
not from Kentucky with a rotary, so
It's kind of little Puerto Rico right in Orlando.
Right.
Yeah. Well, good deal, guys. We're going to end this off. I'm going to go to the next person. IDS is where they find you guys all at. For the most part, you guys kind of don't really do your own social media as much as it's kind of just
Not a ton. Yeah.
all based on IDS.
Yep.
Import drag solutions. I mean, me and Alpha were just talking about it. I don't think there's a better bang for your buck on suspension than what you guys offer.
Yep.
Like, you can get like 99% perfect, I feel like, with your stuff for probably 50% of the cost of some of the big dog stuff.
We have the working class suspension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate to, like, make it sound disparaging in any way,
But
but
that was our target. You know.
You have to find out where you want to fit in the market, and that's where we wanted to fit. At the end of the day, it's a tool. I don't care. We get people that have top of the top brands, and everybody knows who they are, and they can't use them. And so they switch over to our stuff. We love doing the track support's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I have like 14 cars here that I'm trying to help. So, like, I think that, if you have back-end support, it really doesn't matter what you run. It's just a tool. So
I would say most 240s that I know of that drag race, probably 9 out of 10 of them are on your guys' stuff. And it seems like you guys have the 240 stuff so figured out where it's like, here's the package.
yeah.
Go try it. I bet it works. If it really doesn't, we'll figure it out, but I'd be surprised.
That's exactly what it is.
It's probably your fault if this package doesn't work, but we'll figure it out after.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
I love coming to these events and seeing everybody on our stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's
good deal.
It's why we get to actually keep doing this.
That's true. I forgot about that end of it too. Yeah. So good deal, guys. Next time you're in Florida, we'll do a real episode. But
Thanks,
Sounds
sir.
good.
Appreciate it.
to the next person.